Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks, Coda. Thanks, Kristen. Thanks, Noah. Thanks, Finley. Good job, Matthew. Thanks, Beatrice. Kendall, did you find the mute button? Should be at the bottom left of your screen. Dallas, can you mute yourself, bud, if you don't mind? Thanks, buddy.
I can mute everybody now.
Oh, nice.
Sorry, kids. I'm going to undo you, Blair.
There.
All right.
Oh.
Look at this. This is exciting.
All right. If you guys, let's see. If anybody else is on that we need to mute, we'll mute. All right. Can you still hear me, Miss Blair?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. So can everybody else hear us? Give us a thumbs up if you can hear us. All right, we got a couple more coming in. Whew. All right, we're gonna wait 2 minutes because we know everybody's on island time and they're probably gonna be late. We don't. Yeah. Good.
Good suggestion.
Hi.
Hey guys, if you're just coming in, we're gonna have you mute yourselves. That means you need to hover at the bottom of your screen and click the mute button. This is just so that we don't interrupt each other or cut each other off and freeze up. Another
faces.
No, it's so fun. We're like the Brady Bunch if we all look at each other.
I know. Hey, Iris, can you go ahead and mute yourself, please? Thank you.
Another thing too is just so as you guys are uploading, I can see a lot of faces and then I don't see some faces. It could be because you guys are on with the phone, or you need to turn your video on and then that way others can see your smiling face too, since we're all lonely. At the bottom of your screen, you can hover again and you can hit start video. There's a little camera and start video. So like right now, there's a few of you I don't see. Oh, now I'm seeing people. Now I see.
Hey, Cheryl.
I can see Juliet now.
Hey, Juliet. Nice guitars.
I know, right?
Yeah. Kai, where are you?
Door. I don't see Kai or Eva or Luna yet. Not your photo yet. Or your video.
Oh, hold on. No, hold on.
Make sure you mute yourself, Kai.
I can't for some reason. Hold on. Alt B is another way.
What?
It cannot start video.
Kai.
I just muted you, Kai.
Okay. Thanks, Laura.
I think so.
Hey, Miles.
Hey.
Okay. Everybody's in. We're still waiting on Kai's video. We don't have to see your smiling face, Kai, but we would love to. All right.
If you're not muted, to mute yourself, please.
Yep. If you are unmuted, please mute yourself. So the reason that this is just good Zoom etiquette is because anytime you have a noise or make a noise, it interrupts the meeting and you kind of overtake the person who's leading the meeting. So when you come into a meeting, it's good to mute yourself. Miss Blair and I will stay unmuted and we'll show you good Zoom etiquette because we won't interrupt each other. But even if you were to cough or sneeze and you were unmuted, it takes over the meeting. So that's just a good step, grace and courtesy on a Zoom meeting with more than a couple of people. So we're going to start off this meeting. I'm going to do something with you guys. I'm going to give you a quick classroom tour. So I know you guys have already been in the Google Classroom and it's been a little bit easy, a little bit hard, a little bit fun, a little bit frustrating. And so we just want to come in and give you guys a quick tour, let you know a little bit more about the classroom. And I'm going to do that by sharing my screen with you. So you guys just have to give me a second. I'm going to flip my screen so you'll be able to still see me, but you'll also see my screen that I'm working in. I'm graciously working in the accounts of one of our students who's in this video chat today. So we'll see how it goes because that's the only access I have. And he knows who he is. ahead and share my screen with you guys now so you can see. Give me a second to get in. All right, so this is your upper elementary classroom. One of the things that I want to tell you about, like you've maybe heard me say, is to always check the classroom stream. That's where all the good information is. So today I posted the information about it, but I also sent a school cues to your parents so that they would know, hey, she or he should sign on today. So this is your stream. Please look here to find all your good information. If I know or I notice that you guys are having an issue or a concern, or any of your teachers notice, like calendars were a bit of an issue the other day, I'll try to take a little video and send it your way through the stream just to help you guys understand more. Under your classwork tab, I think is the most important thing. So under your classwork tab, this is your classroom. Think about the first time you walked into a Montessori classroom and you saw every shelf and all the stuff on the shelf. Was the first thing you thought, I have to do all this right now? Or were you like, wow, this stuff just looks pretty cool? Hopefully it was, this stuff just looks pretty cool. Not, I need to get all this done right now. Remember, the idea of Montessori is that you have so many options and items to choose from, but as a Montessori child, you also are guided to know which are priorities and which are things that you can do when you have a little bit of extra time. So I want you to look in this classroom as the same way. So since we can't be there, and like I said, we couldn't literally put shelves in here, it would have been great if we could have, and we couldn't put all of our cool boxes and materials, but we did our best. So I'm going to explain it to you very quickly as a Montessori classroom. In the margin over here, where you can see my mouse moving, think of these as all your shelves. Okay, this is all the shelves you have in your Montessori classroom. When you're in your Montessori classroom, there's probably really important shelves, like your actual classroom work. So each of you has a shelf in your Montessori online classroom named after your teacher. This is where your teacher is going to put works that they'd really like for you to make time for. You might notice things like IXL are in there, or certain projects are in there, and those are what you want to make the time for. Okay, then you have a lot of extra in there, like this cultural shelf. You notice that all of us are putting information in there for you. Anytime we find something cool or fun or exciting, we're adding it to that shelf for you, because we know that, you know what, you're at home and it's kind of boring, and when you have time, this might be a great work for you to try. All right, so that's why you see all of these works here. What we're going to do to help you guys out is start taking some of these due dates out. Okay, because we know that the due dates are making you kind of panic a little bit, so we don't want to do that. These works in like this cultural shelf are there for a long time, just like some of the works in your classroom. Another shelf in our classroom like that is our practical life shelf. So this is another shelf where there's a whole lot of works right now. Remember, these are just like a practical life shelf in your classroom. Items will be there for a while for you to do and work on. So don't feel pressured to do all of these as soon as you see them pop up, all right? And then last but not least, another shelf in your classroom where works will always be and will stay for a while are your peace and mindfulness works, just like in the classroom, all right? So that was the first step, was making sure that you guys understand that in your environment, yes, you have a lot of shelves, and on every shelf you have a lot of work, but think of it just like your classroom. Just because it's all there doesn't mean you need to do it right away, okay? And then, of course, in every classroom, there's a student shelf, right? That's where your colored pencils are, your stuff like that is. But we don't have that, obviously, in here. You have it at home. So remember that your shelf in here, that is your resource shelf, are your your technology help and how-tos. So these are all the places that you can find information that will help you, okay? So if you need to figure out how to do something, you can get a quick guide. If you still don't know how to do something, you can go into your office hours here, all right, and see which teacher is available to help you and when. And if you're really stuck, you can put a form in right here, and then that comes straight to me, and I'll try to help you out too, okay? So consider that kind of your community shelf, a place for you guys all to come together. All right, so this is everything that you can see in your classwork. And you heard me say, again, I put a little video up for you guys about your Google Calendar, just so you can look in there and know when you're really stuck and you need help. If you look at your calendar, there's office hours starting tomorrow that you can join in on. Whoops, sorry. There's office hours that you can join in on throughout the day. So you can click on those anytime you need, come right into an office hour using your Zoom links. All right. So this is just a little quick overview of how this is like your Montessori environment. Remember, your priority works are really under your teacher tab, and then all the other things that we're putting in there are like the shelves in your classroom with those peaceful works and the practical life works that are going to be there for a while for you guys to do. So don't stress over those. In fact, if you're working on something that feels frustrating, move on to a different one. Might be a good time to pick up one off the piece shelf, shall we call it. So that's a very quick overview of your classroom that we wanted to show you, just so that you kind of have a little bit of peace of mind about what's in there and how to tackle it all. And today, if there's somebody that's not on here and is not able to watch this, and you have a friend and you're like, I haven't gotten all of my community works done yet, you could say, ooh, wait, I sat in on a lesson and now I know that here's how we interpret these works. All right? So that's step one. Step two is you guys talking to each other. So there's a lot of ways that you can talk to each other, and Miss Blair and I and your teachers and Miss Brittany and I, and we've been trying to figure out the best way to help you, show you how to utilize that. And I would love to show you that now, because finding each other on chat has been a little bit difficult. So I first want to show you about where all of those things are. So when I click on those dots, a couple of different options come up. I can choose to meet. I can choose to chat. Those are the two main ones that our school will like using because they work the best. Okay, so meet and chat. But you have to have people that you can meet with and chat with before you can meet and chat. And so far as teachers working on this, we found two ways that work the best. There might be more out there. I'm going to show you one of the ways that I know is that you can go in through your email and add contacts. So your Gmail accounts do work. Miss Kelly is working on them now to make sure that what we do and help you do is filter out all the information coming in, because there's a lot of information you can see that comes into your accounts. So we're working on helping you guys with that. But what you can do, which here comes up, I can see, and I'm sorry, now you probably know whose accounts I'm using, but thank you very much, Coda, for letting me in. I can see that Coda's had a couple of chats happening because we've been practicing today. Thank you, Amelia, for letting us practice with you. But when you want to add a contact, this is the best place to do it. And once you add them through your email, they're there for you to chat with, and then they're there for you to meet with when you have permission from your teacher to meet. So going in and adding through here is the easiest, and you use everyone's email address, okay? And their email address is their first initial and their last name. Their first initial and their last name. So for right now, if I wanted to chat with someone else in the classroom right now, I'm looking at Iris and I see her, so I'm gonna start with I, and then I can start typing in her last name. I hope I spell it right. Is it 2 N's or 1 N? 1 or 2? 2 N's. Thank you, Iris. Am I right? Give me a thumbs up. Or 2 T's. Am I good? Okay. And I am, there she is. Okay. So there I found her. It's not always easy, but as soon as I kind of started it, I can see that it's going to try to complete it at, and the rest of everyone's email is iam.school. All right. So I'm going to type that in, and it's going to send a message to her. And I'd like to invite her to have a conversation with me. So I'm going to invite her, and she'll get an invite from me. So now she'll be in my email address book here, and I can find her anywhere else, like in chat. So if I go back over to my chat, anybody that I've found there, or that's not my chat, I'm sorry. If I go back into my chat, everyone that I found in my email will show up in my chat. You can see even I've invited her, she's still here. Now I can see that Iris isn't online right now because she's not green, but Kai's online, he's green. So that would be a good person to ask a question right now. So this is a very great platform for when you're working to find someone who you can ask and will answer right away, okay? So they'll ask and answer right away. You can find somebody from your class. It can be somebody with not in your class. That's kind of the beauty of everybody being together, okay? So again, to find somebody in chat, the best way is to go in through your email and search by adding and entering their name and email address, okay? If you guys have questions about how to add a person from this, you can email me or ask me through your chat as well, or you can send me an IT form, especially if you have trouble figuring out someone's email address. Just remember it's their first initial and their last name. The biggest problem you might run into is spelling, like I did. You might not always remember. So that's the easiest way to chat. Outside of this chat version, you do have a Meet. But one of the things that we want to stress is that you shouldn't have a Meet without a teacher's permission, and you shouldn't have a Hangout without a teacher's permission. Okay, so make sure before you initiate either a Meet or a Hangout that you have a teacher's permission. And I'll show you right now what those look like. This is a Meet, and you do need to have teacher permission to do this. And and this is your Hangout, and you need to have teacher permission to do that, okay? So there's video functions on that, and that's what we want to be really careful of, that we respect other people's wishes with that. And so that's why we ask that when you guys need to be with each other to ask a question, please use chat. And if you need to do anything that requires video capability, you have to ask permission from your teachers, okay? I enjoyed watching very many Hangouts and Meets this morning. So remember just that our school is able to see all of that. So make sure it's school related and make sure you have permission. All right, 2 important things. The one thing that you guys can use on your own for ask and answer is chat, which is what we're in right now. This is what chat looks like, and you invite them through your emails, okay? So that's just a quick overview of your classroom and how to chat with each other. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen right now, and Ms. Blair, the other half of this technology piece, is gonna take over and give you guys some technology how-tos real quick.
Thanks, Ms. Laura. So I'm gonna share my screen. I really just wanted to go over some really basic stuff that I'm finding as I'm helping people with technology questions, things that will help you out when you're turning in your assignments, or even how to do that. So let me go to my screen share. All right, so I am too borrowing a student's account. Sorry, I'm getting feedback from my. So the first thing I just wanted to show you guys is when you are in a Google Doc, and again, some of you probably know this information, but there are students who don't, so I am just gonna cover the basics. The first thing I would recommend, anytime you're starting a new document, always title it whatever you are working on. So if I was over here doing the tree challenge assignment, I am going to title this tree challenge, so that when I go to look for it, I will have it. Another thing that I'm noticing people are having questions about is how to download a picture and upload a picture to your Google Doc or to a Google Slide. So if I'm doing a tree challenge, I might look up pictures of a tree. Let's just say tree pictures. And this is really pretty, actually. There's a lot of pretty ones on here. I'm gonna go with this guy. So I'm gonna click on the picture, and let's just say I didn't take this picture with my camera, but I just wanted to add a picture from online. So what you can do is click this, let's see, right click on this image. And when you right click, it's gonna say, do you wanna save the image? So I always say yes. And one thing you're gonna wanna do, and this is really important the more you start using computers, you wanna look at where you're saving things. If it's easier for you to save things to your desktop, as you can see, I've been doing that, have at it. But what I try to think is, if I'm saving a picture, maybe I wanna save it under pictures. So I always try to click it under pictures. And then the most important thing you're gonna wanna do at this point is rename it. Because otherwise you might look at it later and say, what in the world is that picture? I don't remember. So I'm gonna say tree and click save. And there's multiple ways to upload pictures to Google Docs. This doesn't necessarily mean this is the easiest way, but I'm just showing you one way that works. So you have this little option that says insert. which shows you a tool that says image, and it shows you your options to find your images. You also have that same little picture right here. So this is kind of like, I guess, a shortcut. So since I downloaded it from the internet, I will now be uploading it from my computer. And I'm gonna wanna go to pictures where I saved it over here. And then I see my lovely tree. And this tree is actually super cool. It's located in South Carolina and it's called Angel Tree. Since you guys now have access to the internet, whenever you guys should research it and tell me a little bit about it. I've been to this tree. It is amazing, absolutely amazing. All right, so there's my tree. I've uploaded my picture. And then unfortunately I did all this in my account. So I can't show you how to upload it to the student account because I did not create it in a student account, but I will show you the process just in case. So let's say, thank you, Grayson, for letting me use your account. Exploration, she wants to turn that in, so she goes to the assignment. The cool thing about Google and Google Classroom is that it connects to everything, which is super helpful for you guys. So if she's ready to actually turn in the assignment, she's going to go over here to add or create. And if she's creating, she could literally just click Google Doc from here and she would be able to start her Google Doc and create the assignment, and then it would automatically attach. Unfortunately, I'm not in her account. I did it in mine, so I can't upload it for you, but that would be where you would upload your assignment and then you would mark it as done. Another thing I wanted to show you guys is just a little preview of Google Slides. Same kind of concept. I love Google Slides. I make slideshows all the time for everything I do because I just think they're so much fun. So if you have some time and you want to practice, I'm going to show you the very basics, but then I would encourage you to just play around and see what all you can learn. So the same thing I would tell you is you want to click up here and you want to change the title. So again, let's just pretend I'm doing the tree challenge. Okay. And over here you have different themes. You can use this nice white background, or you can kind of search through and find something a little more creative. I like this bright color, so I'm going to click here. Now, these boxes are here for a reason. They say click to add a title. It kind of tells you and prompts you what information should go there. So if this is called Tree Challenge, I would probably click in here and say Tree Challenge. A subtitle, I would probably put by Miss Blair. So anywhere there's a text box is where it's prompting you to put in information, and it kind of tells you what information to put there. Over here, where the plus sign is, you can add another slide, and it gives you choices. This one has a place for you to add 2 pictures. This one's just a title. This one has a really pretty background with a place for a picture or just words. So let's just say you clicked on this one for your next slide. And let's just say I'm looking at this box and I'm like, you know what? I don't really even want this box here. I want to upload my tree picture. So if you select this box where you can see all these little dots, you can hit the delete key on your keyboard and say goodbye to the box. And now, maybe you're thinking, I want to put that really pretty tree, the angel tree that Miss Blair told me about that's in South Carolina, and it's really amazing. So I'm going to click on my little image here. Again, you could get to it by inserting, but let's take the shortcut. We're going to upload it from my computer. I'm already in pictures, and there's my pretty little tree. It's not little though, it's a very large tree. And now your tool looks like a little kind of a plus sign with a bunch of arrows. That allows you to kind of move it around. You can shrink your picture. And maybe I'm turning this in and I'm like, you know what? Miss Blair does not know anything about this tree. So I want to tell her a couple of things about the tree. So the way you can do that is I'm clicking and I'm like, why can I not type? So what you're going to want to do then is add a text box. If you click this little T, which is over here beside the image, you can then click and drag and add a text box. Hey, Miss Blair, here is some pretty cool info about Angel Tree. And then I could list some facts. Once you're in here, man, I could go on for hours about how many cool things you can do. You can go in and change all your fonts. You can change the size. If you didn't like the background color, you could change the background color. So lots of fun things you can do and play around with. But I won't get into all that. I'm gonna let you guys, I'm gonna challenge you to do that. One last couple of things I will show you on this that you may or may not know is just what a transition is. A transition is what transitions you or moves you from slide to slide. If you go over here where it says slide transition, right now it has none, so I'm gonna see my options available, and I'm gonna pick one that's kind of really easy to tell what happens. And then we're gonna click play, and it's gonna give us a little preview of what that looks like. Boom. It's like a little movie now. If you don't like that one, you can go in and change it, but I like that one, so I'm gonna click stop. I'm gonna go to this one. You now know that there is something on this slide, like a transition or an animation, because it shows you over here. This one's lonely. It doesn't have anything. It wants some excitement, some pizzazz. So I'm gonna come over here again, and this time I'm gonna do this. And I'm gonna play, and I'm gonna see if I like it. I'm gonna play. Yep, okay, that's pretty cool. I like it. Now, one last thing I wanna show you is you can take all this a step further. You can make each object on your slide move. So a text box is an object and an image is an object. So think about it like if you're drawing cartoons, cartoons are animated and those are objects. So that's how I remember the difference. A transition transitions you from slide to slide. An animation is something that you add to an object. So I'm gonna click and select this tree, and I'm gonna make my choice for the tree to slide in from the left. And then I'm gonna click this, and I'm gonna make this one slide in from the right. And then I'm gonna see how this works. Oh, I think I did. I don't think I did that one right. Let's see. Oh yeah, I was still in transition. Let's try that again. Sorry, my dogs are being let inside. All right, here we go. Add animation, there it is. All right. So here we go. My tree, I want my tree to fly in from the left. Let's do that. And then with that option, personally, I would say don't put on click. People won't click your screen and you won't see it happen. I like things just to happen. So I just say with whatever the previous thing was, make it happen. And then I want to add another animation. And this time I don't want it to that. So let me delete that. I want to click this and I want to add animation. And I want this animation to, let's do something crazy, zoom in. And I don't want it on the click, let's just do it with the previous. So now when we look at the slide, it zooms in. Well, the other one went away, but so yeah, so you can play around with that stuff and figure out ways to make your presentations kind of more visually appealing and interesting for your audience. That's how I like to look at it, is what can I do to make this appeal to the people that I'm showing it to? What's gonna make them like it and enjoy it? So that's a quick thing I wanted to make sure I talked about: transitions, animations, images. One last thing, I'll add it to this document. So let's just say you didn't download an image from online. One of your assignments says take a picture and share the picture. So what you guys have the ability to do now is from your phone or your parents' phone or whoever's phone, you can take a picture and then you can email that picture to yourself. And if that's the case and you're going into your email, same kind of process. You would have to go into your email, and I sent myself a picture earlier just to see. This one's Zoom because I was Zooming earlier and I took a screenshot. So let's just say this is what I sent from my phone. This little button right here downloads it to your computer. All right, and it says screenshot 14. I've taken a lot of screenshots. Now I'm gonna go back here, and let's say I wanted to upload this as my assignment image. I would go to upload from computer. And because I downloaded it, then I would check under my downloads, and there it is, screenshot 14, and I know it's the right one because it's from today. And I click open. And that was from our little chats earlier yesterday. So that's just a couple of ways you can add pictures into your assignments and how to remember to rename your assignments so you can find them. And yeah, I'll pass the torch back to you, Miss Laura. Let me stop sharing.
All right. So we're going to challenge you guys with a little challenge to give you some practice, because we know that the picture piece was a little bit more difficult for everybody. Some of you guys may have gone and gotten Chromebooks today, which is awesome, because a lot of you maybe have figured out that your Chromebooks take some pretty good pictures, and you can move the cameras on your Chromebooks. At the top of the screen, and I don't have a Chromebook, so otherwise I would try to show you, but you can roll your camera around so you can take pictures of your work. You can take a selfie if you want to take a selfie. You can do whatever you want to do with your pictures on your Chromebooks, or some of you might have other devices that are also allowing you to take photos. So I was going to share with you what mine allows me to do, and then we're going to challenge you to your own self high five. Don't know if you've ever given yourself a high five, but today you are. So you should be able to see my screen now. I'm going to show you what I'm allowed to do on mine. This is my camera from my computer. Every computer has one. I'm using a Mac, so mine's called a photo booth. But basically, I can take a picture. You can see I took one earlier. That's my self high five. But you can always go back to take your own somehow on your laptop, or you can do what Miss Blair did, which is use your cell phone, take a picture on your cell phone. But I'm going to give my own self high five. Okay, that looks really good. Hope you can get it on camera like that. I'm going to give myself a high five in my photo, and then I'll show you what we can do in our PowerPoint with it, or our slideshow with it. So it counts down for me. All right, there's my next self high five. So just like Miss Blair was showing you, you can always save that. So what am I going to do with my photo is what I need to figure out. So what I'm going to end up doing with this photo here, I don't know which is the best. It's hard to say. I really like that one though. I'm going to select my file, and for me, I'm going to save it. And where was the place that Miss Blair said to save it? Pictures. Right? That was where she wants you to. I'm cheating though. I'm going to go straight to my desktop. But I am going to do what Miss Blair taught me to do, which was name it. I'm going to name it after myself and what it is, and save my photo. So now my photo is there for me to upload. Your challenge today is I have made for you your very own slideshow that I'm going to share with you guys all about self high fives. All right. I have not placed this assignment in your classroom yet. And no, don't panic like, I have to get this done by 5 o'clock today. You don't. It's up there for you to practice with, because we want to give you a space to feel like you can. So what you can do is I have some already prepared slides. Miss Blair showed you some awesome ways to make these slides way better than my slides. So that's your first challenge. Make your slides better than my slides, okay? What I have done is place a place for you to place your picture. So every slide, and there are different versions of slides, so feel free to do whatever you wish. But you're gonna go to your slide, and you're gonna have to insert your picture of yourself high five, okay? And then you're gonna have to put your name and tell us why you're giving yourself your high five. So my practice one here, I put my name, and then why am I giving myself a high five? I'm giving myself a high five because it's Wednesday. So you can tell us why you're giving a high five, but you're going to want to make sure that you insert your photo. So to do that, when we already have a space for you to put a photo, you can just go right here to replace image. It's already there for you. So when I want to put a new image there, I'm going to upload, like Miss Blair said, from my computer. Sometimes you can put it right on your drive. She showed you on your email how you could also do that. I'm going to upload it from my computer, and it's on my desktop. And if everybody remembers, I saved it as Miss Laura's high five. There it is. So I can choose it, and it puts it right into my photo album. Then I can go into my box like Miss Blair showed us. I can type my name. Ooh, anybody notice that that's kind of big? So I might have to use some of the tools that Miss Blair showed us. I might maybe have to, I don't know, change the font size or move some things around. So you're going to have to do a little work to figure out how to make some things fit on the page, but that gives you practice, okay? And then you're going to answer that question for us. Why are you giving yourself a high five? And it can be for whatever reason. So that assignment we'll put up for you guys. You'll see it pop up as self-high five, and it gives you a practice to do. So from the time you leave this cute little meeting with us, you can practice self-high fives because those are important. And when you're by yourself, who else are you going to high five? Unless we were to high five on the computer screen. And then you can also add some people to your contacts through your emails so that you can make sure that you guys have people to chat with, okay? So we've had a little chat box up and running for you guys. And what we want to know is, Ms. Blair said, do you have any questions now that you'd like for one of us to answer while you have our attention? If you do, you can go right to that box and type in your questions, and Ms. Blair and I will see them pop up and we can answer them. So if Audrey has a question, go for it, Audrey. Type your question in and we shall. I can hear you now, Audrey. What's your question? Nope, she's still.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So with the, hold on, I have to, I think it was some scavenger hunt that you guys put, not for environmental ed, but just the regular one with like the survey thing. It said go to your classroom files and like choose your file, but I went to go do that and it doesn't have any of those options.
So I'm gonna flip my screen. Miss Blair, do you still have a student pulled up as well?
I do, but I think we have removed that.
I have it pulled up if you could give me co-host. I pulled it up just in case.
Go, Miss Blair, what did you say? You think we might have removed it?
I think the folders are no longer there, so I think that might be the issue.
Okay. So you might find too, and that's a good question, Audrey. So when we set things up, surprise, surprise, we didn't know what we were doing. So we might have adjusted some things since that. So for that question, Ms. Blair was saying they might have deleted some of those folders, so that's why you don't see it. As long as you know where to click My Drive and you can get to that, Audrey, then that's perfect. And I can share with you really quickly. I think I still have the other one pulled up. I will share with you my screen and just kind of show you how to navigate your drive, even without folders. Let me share my screen with you now. Because even though, and that's a great question about your drive, like I said, it's one of the most important places that you will store things, and that's why, especially with your name, it's really important, and naming things is very important. So when you go into your class drive folder, all of your work that you've ever done within the classroom is going to be there, okay? So anything you've ever done for our class is going to be in here. But you guys have had Google for a while, right? So you might have other things in your classrooms and in your drive that's not in your classroom, right, that you are going to have from long, long ago or from whenever. So make sure when you're in your drive that if you're doing anything with our classroom, you always head to your classroom drive. That's the most important thing to remember there. And in that classroom, keeping it organized so you can find everything. But that's a good question to have. Thank you, Audrey.
All right, so Coda's question, and I think Miss Laura just answered this a minute ago, but we do want to make sure we reiterate it because I know a lot of you have been asking this. Do we have to do the stuff on the to-do list? So when we set these classrooms up, our thinking was that we just put due dates on everything because when the due date ends, it automatically takes it off of the Google Classroom. But in doing that, it's made you guys feel a little overwhelmed in thinking that you have to do all those assignments. So like Miss Laura was showing you, and I might just come back to a share screen real quick. Remember how she explained that these over here are like your shelves, and your classroom shelf is what works that you should focus on, because I'm sure your teachers have assigned you your math and your language and cultural that you need to. But all the other shelves like practical life, peace and mindfulness, those assignments, even though they have a due date, those are just more or less extra works for you guys to do, because we know that you might be bored and alone and want something fun to do. So just know that for next week, I think our goal is to not put due dates so that you can just go in and choose those assignments. The only ones that will be due are from your teacher's classroom page.
And so another cool function right now is that I can see that Riker raised his hand. He has a question for us. So it allows me to see that his hand is raised, and I can unmute him and invite him to kind of chat with us. So can you hear us now, Riker, and talk back to us?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello. What's your question?
I have lots of questions.
Okay.
So for one, on my calendar, it like above my list of works on, I forget, on my classwork thing, it doesn't have like the calendar and stuff. And then when I go onto my Google Calendar, it doesn't have like all the dates of the times that the teachers are on and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay. If my first question, well, my first statement will be make sure that you're logged in for your school address, because sometimes when we're borrowing somebody else's computer, like our parents' computers, or even I borrowed my husband's the other day, I thought I was in my account, but it was not. So that's the first thing I would look is, and this is, I'm going to share my screen again so you guys can see. But when you're in your classroom, always double checking where you're at. Hold on 1 second. So making sure you check your icon here, and that is definitely what's pulled up in your classroom. Is that do you have the correct icon up, Riker?
I have.
See, if I hover over mine, I can see not my name, but the name I'm borrowing and their email address. So that's what you want to check and make sure you're logged in under the @im.school one.
Yeah, I am. I am under my account.
Okay, and so when you go to classwork for you, you don't see either of these?
I see all my works, but on the top, I don't see anything in that like gap.
Okay, no calendar. All right, Riker, that's something that I can
Yeah.
look into for you. That's maybe a technical
Or a
thing.
class drive folder.
Okay.
But the view your work thingy, where you see Coda's Panthers icon thing, that's where my view your work icon is.
Interesting.
I wonder if you could ask him to screen share his screen and then maybe you could have a look.
Yeah, Riker, can you show us your screen?
How do I do that?
At the bottom of your Zoom account now, the Zoom window you have open, click on the green icon that says share screen.
Share content? Is it share content?
Yeah.
Oh,
share
there we go, screen.
I just wanted to interrupt real quick. There's a lot of questions popping up, so if I can answer it simply, I'm just going to send you guys individual messages, and then if you still need more information, we can chat.
Is there anybody else that can't see their calendar like Riker? Go ahead and raise your hands, and then that helps us too.
Can you see my screen now? Or
No, not yet.
oh, there we go. Hello.
Hello. Now you probably can share your screen with us, Riker, and we'll be able to see it. We see you now, which is great. We've been missing you.
Okay, hold on a second. I think I have to turn off.
Those of you asking about school emails, if you have a question about someone's school email, just ask either your teacher or myself. We can help you out with school emails to help people spell their names right.
Wait, so how do I?
Hey, George.
If some of you have questions and you want to keep typing them while Riker's working on locating his button, you certainly can, and we'll see if we can answer those.
I have like the Zoom icon on the bottom right, and if I tap on that, I can like see myself. But I don't. At the top, I have a green icon that says share content, and then if I tap on screen, it says everything on your screen, including notifications, will be recorded. Enable do not disturb to prevent unexpected notifications, and then it says screen recordings on, and it says photos, and then it says stop recording, and it says that my microphone is on. Hey, George.
Rager, what I'm going to do is I'm going to email you a Zoom invitation tomorrow so you and I can look at your screen together and we'll figure that out.
Okay.
Okay? I'll email you a Zoom invitation. Is morning time good for you?
Sure. What time?
Let's do, you want to do 9 o'clock?
Sure.
All right, I'll send you a Zoom invite for 9 o'clock. We'll look at yours and figure out what's going on.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. And okay, Ms. Blair, you said you saw another question?
Yeah, I'm just kind of, the ones that I know the answers to, I'm typing in, like ancient civ projects when they're due, why certain things aren't working. I haven't seen anything really tech-based yet.
Okay. Harper, I did see your question again about uploading a photo.
I did respond to that. I sent him
Okay.
a private message.
And Noah, I'm gonna unmute you, Noah, for a minute. And so, oh. Sorry guys, you guys are shifting. Blair, are you still on? I muted you. Sorry. Sorry guys. I was trying to get Noah. All right, Noah, go for it. You there, Noah?
So for the ancient civilizations project, it's like more of a tech question. Like what are we gonna have specific like times where groups will meet up or on Google Hangouts or Google Meets? Okay,
That's a great question. Yeah. So for projects where you have to be with a group to do certain things, your teacher will set up a meet for you and you'll get an invitation just like you do for a Zoom where you guys can get together and hang out. But since it's our first week and we're all just trying to figure out, in some cases, for teachers, just figure anything out. We haven't set any meets up yet for small group projects. So though you see that work on there, you'll get a lot more guidance from your teacher about what to do with that. And it will be through a meet, yes.
And will the due dates be changed for?
Yeah. So for some of those works on practical life that you guys are seeing, where we consider those are going to be on the shelf for a while, kind of what we say the shelf for a while. What we'll do is we'll work on those. We'll set a different way to put them in so that they don't show up and flood your to-do list.
Okay, thank you.
Make it feel so long. You're welcome.
Another question that I just saw from Mael said, I can't see my class files anymore, or I can't find them. Was that the Google Drive we were talking about, I think?
Yeah.
I don't think that's there anymore. I think we've just edited the Google Classroom since we started.
The biggest thing about Drive is if you can go in your Drive and see your work, that's what you need. That's your cubby and your workspace. So think of that as your work rug when you lay it down and you organize it. That's what you want your Google Drive to look like. So as long as all of your works are going to your Drive, that's the most important thing. You get the choice of organizing it and creating what you'd like to create in your Drive to make it the neatest way that you want. Okay. Ms. Blair, do you still have a kid's account pulled up?
Yes.
Could you go into the Drive and show them how to start their own folder?
Hopefully. Let's see. Here we go. Upper L. All right, classwork. So class Drive folder. Gotcha. And you said just to start a new folder?
Yeah, like if they wanted to organize this workspace better.
So let me make sure I talk you through it. So over here where this lovely little Google Plus sign is, when you click that, it gives you all the new things you can do. And Miss Laura's suggestion, which is really great, is to start a folder. And let's just say you want to call this folder
Week 1 work or March 23rd work.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So the day of, so today is March 25th. So we'll say March 25th work. Anything that you, sorry, Grayson, I'm making all this in your profile. Anything that you do that day, you can save to that folder. This would also come in handy, I would recommend, for if you're doing any kind of group work and you've been compiling research to share with the people in your group. So I know that we do have a couple of ancient civ projects, so maybe I would go in my folder and I'm doing Greece. I would set that as the folder as Greece, and any research that I collected I could save to there. Okay, so that's just a way to kind of organize your files. And let's just say for pretend, you're like, okay, Miss Blair, you showed me how to make these folders, now how to put stuff in it. You can click and drag. See how I dragged this and I just put it in that folder. So now when I go into Grease, there's something that's not about Grease, but there is a file there. And then if you didn't want it there, let's see if I can figure out how to undo that. I'll figure it out, Grayson, sorry. But that would be our suggestion, is to have folders. And then if you've already done work that you wanted to file, to click and drag it into whatever folder you want it to go in, okay? All right, does that help?
Thank you, Ms. Blair. Yeah, so that's just one of the things we wanted you to go into that drive and explore, because you can think of it like your cubby, or think of it like your workspace. And if a teacher were to walk by and it were to be a hot mess, they'd be like, you need to organize that. That's how you organize things digitally, is with files and folders in your drive. And so that's what we just want you to make sure you know about and how to be able to do, because after a couple of weeks, your work is going to be a lot potentially, and you want to make sure you have a way to find and organize it. All right, any other, let's see, Coda has his hand up. I'm gonna try to unmute. All right, can you hear, talk now, Coda?
Yes. When is the due date of the thing you just assigned?
Whenever. I'm not gonna put a due date on it, you'll see that. It's really just a place for you to try and feel comfortable trying, and if you delete something, it's okay, and if you add something extra, it's okay, but it's just gonna be a safe place.
You have to do? Is it also something you have to do?
It is not something you have to do, but after we showed you a little bit about pictures, if you want to give it a try so that you can work and try in a safe place, that'll be your safe place.
Okay.
And the more that you practice these things, the easier it'll become for you guys to do them. And they don't take really long once you get used to it. It might take you all of 5 minutes to do that.
Do you have any other questions?
Will we have other meets? That was Kristen's question. So what do you mean by other meets, Kristen? Can we unmute Kristen? There we go.
Fine.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Like, will we have any other, like, Zoom meets together? Like, to talk about the Google Class?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So what we'll try to do is when we see, you know, all of us have office hours. I don't have any for upper elementary, but all of your teachers and your TAs do. And so when we see a bunch of the same questions or the same confusions, we'll try to schedule one where we can try to help you guys out with technology questions all together, because we know that there's only a few of us teachers and a lot of you. So if we can address them all at once, it's helpful, and that's what we'll keep trying to do.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. And there'll be some too, Kristen, for just your class. You'll have community meetings the same way. We'll do all kinds of different types of meetings with this.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Miss Laura, I have 2 teachers who are joining us as well, and they are making a couple of requests. So do you mind if I jump in real quick?
Go for it.
All right, so we want to make sure that you guys know how to find the office hours of the teachers. And then also we want to talk about, some of you are hitting the turn in an assignment, but you're not actually attaching the assignment. So we just want to make sure you're not getting too confused by those things. So let me go back to my screen share real quick. Again, in your Google Classroom, I think we might have gone over this at the beginning, but just a quick refresher. If you're stuck on something and you need help while you're working, you can click on the Google Calendar right here. And it will show you for today during the time that you're actually in the computer. And if this is overwhelming, sometimes I just go to my day view. And then I can see, okay, today it's almost 3 o'clock. And look, Miss Blair, what do you know? Has office hours from 2 to 4. So I'm going to click this link right here. It's kind of hard to see this one, but it would be like a little link like that. And I'm going to wait for her to let me into the classroom, and then I can ask my question then. So that's how you access it. And it's okay if it's not the teacher or the TA that you usually have. Our job is just that we are here to help with any types of questions. And if it's something that we don't have the answer to, we can certainly try to get the answer for you. All right, so that was one thing. Another thing that we wanted to make sure we talk about is turning in an assignment. So when you click on it and you go to view the assignment, some of you are marking it as done, but you're not adding anything to it. So I think what you'll have to do is read each assignment and make sure you're doing what it asks of you. Some may say upload a picture to a Google Doc and turn it in, or some may say take a picture with your phone and send it in. I'm not sure because everyone will be a little different, but just make sure you're reading what the expectations are. And then before you mark it as done, if it does ask you to upload something, then make sure you click here, and you can either start a new document or you can look in your Google Drive to something you've already created. Okay, so each assignment's a little different because they were created by different people, so you just want to make sure you know what the expectation is for those assignments. Okay.
The other question I saw was about if you had a classroom meeting, would that be in your calendar? Yes. So if your teacher schedules a classroom meeting, it will be in your Google Calendar. Like tomorrow is Thursday, I believe Miss Yvonne's class has a classroom meeting scheduled in their calendar. So you're gonna wanna go to your day tomorrow, guys, and check when your classroom meeting is, and it'll look just like this. So if you're in Miss Suzanne or Miss Kathy's class, the same thing will happen. You'll have a meeting in your calendar. So check your calendar every day, kind of like checking your planner every day, and see if you have anything that you need to attend. It's always a good thing, because while office hours are on there, and there's a lot of office hours right now because we're trying to help you, eventually there'll be fewer office hours and more classroom meetings and classroom lessons, and those will always be on your calendar.
And I did want to say something real quick, because I don't know if some of you are reading this, but Miss Suzanne did say that Miss Suzanne's classroom meetings will be every Friday at 10:30. And the way that you'll get that is she'll send out the link and it will automatically add to your calendar so that you guys know that.
Great. And I saw Harper had another question. I'm trying to find Harper to unmute him.
Okay, yeah.
All right, Harper, you're unmuted. What you got?
On Google Classroom for all the assignments that say due March 27th, didn't you say something that after this week we wouldn't have a due date anymore?
Yeah, so you're gonna find that what we'll do is go in there. As teachers, when we were putting things in, we were learning, and what we knew was that if it had a due date, it gave us better options, but what we also know now is even better. So what we'll do is go in there, and we have the option to take the due dates on like a practical life work or a work that's a mindfulness work that'll be on the shelf for a long time or a little bit longer than a week. We'll take the due date off of that so that it's there, but that it doesn't show up in a to-do list like it's something really long for you to do. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, Kyle, what's your question? Wait for Miss Laura to unmute you.
You gotta find it. It's a long list.
Yeah, I saw there's 42 of us in here.
All right, Kai's unmuted.
Okay, so what if we're not there to have like a class meeting or like a meeting like this?
It's an awesome thing to mention. Yeah, so we can record everything. We have the option to do that. So we can record it and post it to the class for you so that if you miss it, you can listen to it and watch it at in your own time. Because we know everybody's probably got different situations going on right now where you can do things at certain times, or you have a sibling who needs to do their thing at a certain time, and it's a lot of work. So not everybody can do everything at the same time, and we want to be respectful of that. So you'll get a recording of the meeting.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. What else we got? Anybody else? I have a question, Mayo. Let me get to your name, Mayo. Okay, you unmuted? Can you talk, Mayo?
Yeah.
Okay.
So with the grace and courtesy expectations, we did the survey, but then it didn't come up to say turn in. So I couldn't turn it in.
So when you do a form, that's also a really good thing to point out. You notice that some of your assignments come in a Google form like like the survey did, and that form has a submit button. So when you submit that, that turns it in. I'm going to share my screen. Do you still have a student pulled up, Miss Blair?
Yeah, sure. I can.
I closed mine out accidentally.
That's okay.
Miss Blair can share it with you. Go into that exercise if you don't mind, Miss Blair.
Sure. Roll down to online grace and courtesy. The Google form. And then, so it says you've already responded. I think that this is what you're asking, Mayo, is that when you click your submit button, it just turns it in.
If you go back to the assignment, Miss Blair, and click view assignment,
Yeah.
you can mark your work as done, but it says,
So whoever, I'm in Grayson's, and Grayson's has already done it. So it says unsubmit for her.
right.
But she would have clicked submit, even though there's no work attached. Because we did say some of these will ask you to attach something, but like this, there's nothing to attach. You just mark it that you've done it.
Does that make sense, Mayo? So sometimes your work, you'll hit the turn in button with work, and sometimes you'll turn in a form and then just say that you finished it. You seen any questions, Miss Blair? I'm not seeing any.
Some of them are just coming privately.
Yeah.
But this one, Helen, Helen's got a question.
All right, let me get to you. All right, can you hear me, Helen? And us hear you?
Yes.
All
All
right.
right. So if you take a picture on a phone or an iPad, how would you get that on a computer to like stretch or like do anything with? Because you can't take a picture with a computer.
Right. So what we had was, there was a little bit of a restriction on the email that we had to go in and fix. So if you take one on, say, your mom's phone or your whoever's phone, you can have that emailed to your email address, Helen, and then that picture will show up in your email.
Okay. And that's the one at im.school, right?
Yes. Yep. So your first initial, last name at im.school. And Miss Blair did it for herself on hers. Can you show one more time, Miss Blair?
Sure.
So since it's in your email, she'll show you how to upload it.
So I emailed, it's actually right here, but in my inbox, I titled it Zoom because we did a Zoom the other day and I took a screenshot of it and I wanted to use it. So this is the image, and when you hover over it, you can download it to your computer or you can save it to your Google Drive. We could play around with that, but I just have been downloading it and it pops up down here and it says this is screenshot number 14. And then when you're in an assignment, Helen, you can go to your little image insert and you can upload it from the computer. And it's thinking a little slowly. I've got a bajillion things open right now. It might not work, guys. I'm gonna have to, but Helen, if you're still confused after this meeting, I'll be in the office for another hour and you can Zoom me and I can show you how to do it. My computer's freezing up.
All right.
But you should be able to do that now, Helen, where you can email it to yourself and you can add it to your drive or download it. And when you click the add to drive button, it allows you to say, where do you want to save it? And you can save it in your Google Classroom.
Okay. Because I didn't know like what you would do before. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Everybody else check in. Got no hands raised. Everybody good? Does anybody have any other questions that they think they need from us? Okay. Ms. Blair, you good on your end?
I think so. Yeah.
Right. So if you have anything else that you need.
I think Kai has one last question. I see a hand.
Oh, a hand? Wait, there's no hand.
Oh, it was Kai.
Okay.
Sorry.
If you have any other questions, hop into our office hours anytime in the morning or afternoon. You'll see somebody has office hours, or feel free to use chat at each other now through your email and use chat to ask each other questions. If there's a green dot next to the name, remember you can talk to somebody. If there's not a green dot, they're not there to talk to. And we have recorded this. So what we'll do is upload it to our Google Classroom so you guys can check it out later. And if you have questions, you'll be able to see more information about it or review any ideas. And use our website too. On our website, there's a virtual tab at islandmontessorischool.com, and you can watch videos there too to help you out. Okay, so there's a lot of good resources. But main news is stay calm. You just made it through Wednesday. Give yourself a self high five and post it in the PowerPoint, and yeah, we're good. If you guys need us for anything, we're all here, okay? So give us a shout out anytime you need, and take it one work at a time and try to have fun in it, okay? Everyone, a round of applause, round of applause. Have a great rest of your Wednesday afternoon. Thank you guys for coming.